I've been working in the space of women's sexual wellness for over 15 years, and I'm encouraged because when I first started, there was hardly any information out there. It was not easy to find resources. And now, fast forward to 2020, there are way more resources, and women's sexual wellness, it's a whole space, it's a whole industry. That wasn't the case before. So I find that really encouraging because we obviously need more information and deserve to be empowered with not only valuable information, but with the kinds of practices that we can take home and unlock for ourselves in our day-to-day life. I've heard it said before that female pleasure is activism, and I agree with that in a lot of ways. So of course, pleasure for pleasure's sake is amazing, and I hope all women experience that, and all people ultimately. But it goes a bit deeper than that too, because if you think about it historically, female pleasure has been bad. It's been shameful. There's no room for that. The only reason women should engage in sex is for the necessity of birthing babies. So women are these, our value is wrapped up in our ability to procreate and birth babies, and that's it. You know, there's the mother who gives birth to the babies, and then there's the whore, where the dirty secret, you know, the tirades of pleasure happen over here off to the side. And so in my work with mothers, so much of it is about doing away with that dichotomy and bridging more wholeness, where we're reconnecting our hearts to our yonis, reconnecting our hearts to our wombs, and reconnecting our hearts, wombs to our minds, so that we can have that integrity of feeling really good and whole in our bodies, and really good and whole in connecting with our pleasure. Mind, heart, gut, yoni, where we're one whole being. And I haven't found anything as powerful in accessing that wholeness as pleasure and as self-pleasure. So whatever gets you in the door, maybe it's because you want to have more connection with your husband, or whatever gets you in the door, that's fine. But all roads return to this fundamental reclamation, reclaiming yourself as a woman and discovering pleasure for yourself that doesn't belong to anyone else. Because over thousands of years, we've been traded like property. We've belonged, whether it's to our families, to our husband, to whatever it is. There's this sense of ownership that, and so many women still, even in 2020, in many parts of the world, that's still going on. And so in terms of reclaiming yourself for yourself and belonging to you and no one else, and having that choice of sharing yourself when and if you choose to, the most direct path to experiencing that is starting to experience more pleasure and unlocking that and forming that relationship with yourself. And I would say that that's a deep, deep why to why I care about this work. And so with My Little Yoni, while it's a brand that's appropriate for the whole family, we like to say we're making vaginas appropriate dinner conversation for the whole family. This conversation around pleasure, and I like to say self-lovership, making yourself a lover to yourself, that it's essential that that as moms, that we have that at the front of our mind. And sometimes we get busy and forget about it, but just to return to that and to keep checking in and to saying, am I valuing pleasure for myself? Because how are we going to give our children a better start or expect them to have a healthier relationship with their sexuality and bodies and pleasure if we're not doing that for ourselves? Because there's what we say, but then there's also what we model. At My Little Yoni, we have a mission of creating a more positive world for our kids with art, humor, and education, and a big part of that happens through the ongoing conversations in our community. So if you have something to weigh in on, questions, comments, post them in the comment section below, because we want to hear from you. And every Wednesday we post new videos, so be sure to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next week.